Everyone, welcome to my review of episode 6 of The Acolyte, the review in which I am utterly exhausted by the details of this show, or the lack thereof. So, let's just get to it. I'm just really frustrated by the lack of story. I mean, it's starting to feel like I don't know if you guys watched the series Heroes back in the day where everybody was really excited about it, like save the cheerleader, save the world, everybody's on board, yay. And then they actually watched the show and there were some really good moments. And that's how I feel about Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I will always love Star Wars. There will always be good moments for me. And I will always keep watching and I will keep hoping that things get better. But this show is like the final season of Heroes in which nothing happens. People move around, nothing happens. People move around some more nothing happens. And lots of things that should be explained never get explained. And then they make some decisions based on information that never got conveyed. And so starting to get extremely suspicious about this show, and that these episodes are 30 minutes long. Nothing wrong with a 30-minute episode. They do it with the Bad Batch. They did it with the Clone Wars. Works great in those cases. Everything's tight. Everything's good. Strong episodes. This, however, is not the same. You get a whole different lack of plot, lack of arc, lack of character development, lack of payoff, lack of story. I mean, this is the lackluster series of the Star Wars universe because these little half an hour episodes really do feel like they were written to be 45 to 50 minutes. And then some executive somewhere said, nope, we're not putting that much money into the story. So trim it down, 30 minutes. That's what you get. That's what your budget is. And so they go through and just cut out huge swaths of script or huge swaths of filmed scenes and came up with what we got. I honestly cannot imagine how they created this series with all of these logic gaps, all of these story gaps, all of these things that should never make its way through a writer's room. And yet here we are at episode 6, and we still aren't really hooked because we still don't understand who Osha is. We still don't understand who May is. Master Saul is still yawning on about having to tell Osha the truth and having to tell May the truth. 6 freaking episodes, and we still don't have that story. It would have been so much better to have that up front at this point. But again, I do feel like they just lopped off huge parts of the script and then put together what they could and forced it into a little mold and hoped that they could sell the story, and it's not working. There are so many problems as it is with the Star Wars universe and the discussions that we're all having. We find this lack of focus on the details and the lore, and I honestly think some of that's in there, but it ended up getting cut out. And so we're getting this really hashed up scene or these hashed up episodes that just don't make sense. And if Disney is looking for a new audience, it's looking to build their audience. They're looking to build subscriptions for their products, which I know they are because there have been lots of articles written about it, how money's tight, things are falling short, ratings aren't where they need to be. So they need to start tightening the belt and they need to start increasing viewers, subscriptions, all of that. It's all marketing, it's all business, it's all dollars. And if you're looking for new viewers and new subscribers, and so you're reaching into a new audience, woke or not, it doesn't matter. If you're looking for a new audience and you're going after them, primarily if you look at who these characters are, non-white female audiences, which is fine, frankly, it is fine to go after specific audiences in order to build the greater audience base to make better products for everybody. But it is a disservice to do it with such a bad story. You're basically throwing those new audience members away. And that's so frustrating because they don't get a good look at what Star Wars can be, these new audience members that you're going after. And the whole internet is like up in arms about this show's failing, Star Wars is failing, whatever. And I don't think Star Wars is failing. This show is failing. But if you're a new audience member and you're actually liking parts of the story because you don't know much about the story as a whole, and this is what you get, and that's the response in the internet that you have to go up against, you're going to shy away. You're not going to watch. You're going to drift off. And so Disney is shooting itself in the foot by giving us these super short episodes that clearly have been cut to pieces and the characters have been shredded before they even got to the screen. And it's just bad business is what it is. It's just bad business. And I think they need to show us the director's cut. They need to actually do the work and put the full episodes out because these cannot be the full episodes. Any screenwriter worth their salt would not have written these episodes. It just wouldn't happen. I mean, in episode 6, Saul never knows. He never sees definitive proof that Chimera is alive. And yet at the end of the episode, he says, we need to go find your master to May. How would he know? How would he know? He wouldn't know. There's no way he could have known. You know, and there's also these moments where logic just disappears. Like when you could maybe in the moment understand at the end of episode 5 when May shows up pretending to be Osha and Saul's like, come on, Osha, let's go. Maybe in the moment, because his vision and judgment is so clouded, that could be the case. But they end up spending a good deal of time together, walking back to the ship, being on the lander, going back up to the ship, reconnecting with the ship, fixing the ship. And it takes a conversation about Jedis being clouded in order to see things more clearly for us to understand that, oh, hey, maybe that's like the tip off that Saul's understanding that May is May, not Osha. And it's just wrong. Like, these are just two little things, two little bitty things. And then also the marks on Chimera's back, those aren't, I mean, maybe they're lightsaber marks, but they're not that deep. I mean, they would have cut through the back of his ribs and the back of his flesh and maybe his spine, the way they're laid out. So it's clearly something else, not a lightsaber. I mean, there's just so many implications, and maybe he's lying through his teeth. Who knows? We just don't have enough information. And clearly, I do think there's some kind of connection between the Jedi commander, that green lady, I have no idea what her name is, and Chimera. I do think that he was probably her Padawan, and maybe she tossed him out, whatever. I do think there's a connection between them and that it's just being hinted at. And that's why she's so god awful upset to go, find out what's going on. She has a sense of things. but who knows? I mean, it's just not deep enough and it's not strong enough. It's just not there. And frankly, I find this whole thing to be just a disservice to the story, to Star Wars. And just what I'm seeing is more and more an indication that this is studio direction rather than writers or actors or even the creator. I think this turned into a hot potato is what happened. And now Disney's just trying to pawn it off and get rid of it. In any case, this is my review, my frustrated rant. I'm just really frustrated, really frustrated. So that's what you're getting today is me, my rant, and I'm just tired, just tired. We shouldn't be on episode 6 and still feeling this way. 2 episodes left. How can they possibly tie this up to anyone's satisfaction? If you agree with this review, please give it a thumbs up. If you hate this review, what the heck? Give it a thumbs up. If you hate the show, give this a thumbs up. I would appreciate it because why not? God, I have such an attitude right now. I'm so sorry. This is what bad Star Wars does to me. I get attitudes. So thank you guys so much. I have more reviews coming and shows that I actually really enjoyed. So I look forward to getting to those and sharing those with you. And I look forward to hearing from you. And please, this seems to be the rant session of the day. So add your comments. Tell me what you're frustrated about. What details they're getting wrong. What you wish they would have done differently. I would just love to get into it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.